Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies, and welcome on this beautiful day in February. Today, we have the pleasure of having Ola Kukui, who will be talking to us about this great new Americans Integration Network by the Denver Workforce Services. So welcome, Ola.
Thank you, Gloria, and thank you everyone for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. As she said, my name is Ola Kukui. I'm the program administrator for this new program that the city is providing to all New Americans. It's called New Americans Integration Network. And before I go on, I'll try and make this as interactive as possible. Gloria has been voluntold and she has gladly accepted to be my chat room manager. So she'll be managing the chat room. And I would like you to just go ahead and tell me, what is your own definition or understanding of New Americans? So when we say New Americans, please put in the chat room, what is your own understanding of who is a New American?
Oh, I'm not getting much here. Oh, here we go, Teresa. Someone from another culture, country living here.
Thank you, Teresa. Can we have more? Gloria, you too, you can join. You can tell us what's your own definition of a New American?
Yeah, if it's easier, ladies, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah.
IOC, New American are legal immigrants that are American.
Okay.
And Radwa is agreeing with that. So I think that's the agreement, right? That it's a new person being here in the country, that it's legal, but they're still new.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. So let's move on to the next slide. So New Americans, as you can see, are those who are residents who emigrated to the United States as immigrants. So bottom line is they are foreign born. They were not born here. So it's either you were not born in this country or you happen to have at least one parent that was not born in this country. So that is what makes you a New American. It has nothing to do with whether you just got here or not. So I know that the word new sometimes confuses people. I've been here for more than 18 years. I'm still a New American. I'm a citizen, but I'm a New American because I was not born here. So that is the definition of a New American. If it's either you were not born here or you have a parent that was not born here. And there are different ways in which people have come into this country. You can see different ways I mentioned there. Either you're a diversity visa lottery recipient, that's how I came. Asylum seeker, refugee, deferred action for childhood arrivals, special immigrant visas, or what you call humanitarian parolee. That's our Afghan evacuees that moved to the United States since August and September. They are regarded as either SIVs or humanitarian paroles. So it's a long list of definition of different visas that you could come into this country that you can now be seen as a New American. So I want to believe at least some of you know or have someone who is a New American. You may want to put it in the chat room if you do know someone, or if you're a New American, feel free to put it there. Let's move on to the next slide. So I'll go ahead to explain to you that back in November 2019, Governor Jared Polis put in motion the New American Initiative. So there was an initiative that was set up by the governor back in November 2019. And the reasons behind this is to highlight the significant additions that New Americans bring to the table, and also how to recognize their difficulties and also look for ways in which these difficulties can be addressed. So once again, I just say that reasons behind it, first of all, is to highlight all the good stuff that New Americans bring to the table and how they have contributed in such a wonderful way and profitable way and effective way to our economy. But that is not only it, there's also avenues in which New Americans need to thrive so that they can fully integrate into the system. I'm going to go on to ask another question, and I would like you to explain to me the difference between assimilation and integration. They sound very similar, but they are different a little bit. So assimilation, which I'm going to spell ASSIMILATION, versus integration. So feel free to put in the chat room or go ahead and mute your phone and tell me what it is.
Okay, we got Abby is saying, I'm sorry, I'm driving, and she's listening.
Okay.
Okay. And you can unmute yourself if it's much easier to unmute yourself and give your perspective. That is totally okay. We're a small crowd, so it's nice to get intimate with each other here and hear each other's voices. The difference between assimilation and integration. Okay, Io is saying she needs to think about this a little bit. I think that's an excellent question, Ola.
Thank you.
Yeah, what is this difference? Do you want to go ahead and explain? I don't think we know.
Okay, I think, all right, let me see. So assimilation is the process whereby New Americans are expected to imbibe everything American under the common adage of when you are in Rome, you behave as the Romans. So there is this unconscious and conscious pressure that New Americans have to either talk like an American, don't have an accent like me, look like an American, speak like an American, dress like an American, imbibe all the values and norms of Americans while putting away their own culture and values and what have you. So, and integration is the process whereby New Americans are able to keep their own culture, keep their own uniqueness, keep their own values, and also learn from the American culture and values. I'll give you an example. I'm going to say, like, you have people who are from Spanish background, or people who came from, who maybe their generations came from Mexico or Mexico, as they call it. You find out that their generations, the younger generations now, can't speak the language. They can speak the language, they don't even understand the culture. And the main reason is because of this pressure of assimilation. So their parents probably never taught them the language because they felt English is more important, so don't forget about your language, or taught them the culture. So even you find people who are maybe their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents are from Mexico or Mexico, they end up, when they are going to check the box, they check the box that they are white. So they call them Hispanic white. And I always wondered, I said, well, you have a Hispanic name, then why are you not proud of where you come from? But it's this issue of assimilation that has come to make people understand, or being white is much, much better than being from either Spain or Mexico or wherever. And being able to speak English is much better than being able to, being bilingual. That means you can speak 2 languages or 3 languages, which an average person who is not an American knows that being able to speak 2 or 3 languages makes you smarter than somebody who can only speak 1 language. So, and that is why if you go to Europe, an average European child speaks more than 1 language or 2 languages because they see the importance of being able to be bilingual or multilingual. But assimilation has made it very difficult for an average New American to be able to be bilingual or multilingual. But integration is so different. Integration is a 2-way street. It's like I bring this to the table and you bring this to the table. I learn about you, you learn about me, and we meet halfway. That is what integration is all about. And that is what this program is all about, is trying to integrate New Americans being integrated into the society. And of course, allowing Americans to be willing to learn more from wherever you're coming from, because I want to believe that every culture, every language, every norms, they are unique. And once you learn more about people, you get to know more about yourself and also expands your knowledge. So let's move on to the next item. So let me officially introduce you to this new program called New Americans Integration Network. And that the acronym is NAIN. This program is here not only to spotlight problems associated with New Americans' integration into the society, but also provide solutions to these problems by partnering with community-based organizations and community leaders. So in details, let's talk about the fact that integration. As a program administrator for this program, I serve as a subject matter expert, what you call SME, Resource Data Bank, Referral Point, One-Stop Operation. And the main reason why this program is in place is to make sure that New American neighborhoods are able to integrate to both employment and the fiscal structure of our society, while also solving their social capital challenges. Yes. New Americans, just like an average American, have social capital challenges, but these challenges have different layers on top of it. And that will take us to the next slide. So this is called economic mobility factors. And what we mean here is that there are factors that make it very, very difficult and challenging for New Americans to thrive in the American society. And these are the factors that attribute to that. So you have access to quality education, access to sustainable employment or a living wage. And in between these factors, you have access to affordable childcare. You also have access to affordable healthcare. And these 3 are interconnected, because without, if you don't have a good quality education and you don't have a living wage, a wage that will definitely grant you healthcare, a job that comes with health insurance, that will help too. So that's another important thing. Access to reliable transportation, being able to maybe live close to mass transit, or also being able to have access, maybe to be able to afford a car that you can drive back and to work and take your kids to school and that stuff. Very important, affordable housing. We know right now that the housing crisis in Colorado and Denver and all over the country, New Americans being able to have a job and that we help with that, you can use it to pay your rent. The economists, let me put it that way, say that you should be able to spend not more than 30% of your income on your rent, not more than that. But we found out that a lot of people spend more than 50% on rent. That is really, really outrageous. If you spend more than 50% of your income on rent, there is no way you can have enough to take care of yourself and your family. Then we want to talk about access to healthy food. With COVID-19, we know that being able to eat healthy and live healthy is so important. Being able to boost your immune system. And that means you have to have access to affordable, being able to eat fruits and vegetables, so important. And there are a lot of people that live in food deserts. That is where you find the low-income housing. It's more in food deserts, so they can't even have, they can't afford to eat healthy food like fruits and vegetables. So these are the economic mobility factors. If these factors are all in place, then we can talk of New Americans thriving in the American society. Without these factors in place, it's going to be very, very difficult for New Americans to thrive in our society today. So I'm going to, before I move on to the next one, I'm going to also do another trivia with you. I'm going to ask you, what are the stereotypes or labeling that you've known about New Americans, that you've heard, that you've realized, or if you're a New American that you have experienced? What are those stereotypes, labeling, or things that people assume that New Americans are, which probably most likely they are not? So feel free to share, mute your phone. You don't have to write it down. I mean, I said phone, mute your audio and or mute yourself and let's hear that. If anybody has anything, feel free.
We are getting crickets today, ladies. What are some of those stereotypes?
I think that people sometimes think that you're not as smart.
Thank you. That's a good one.
Thank you, Abby. Yes, I have heard it said that sometimes you hear the accent and you automatically think that the person is not, right? Not on par with you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other one? Okay, I'm going to, no, there's no wrong or right answers, just to let you know that. Okay, let's look at this. I'm going to go to the next slide.
I'll share. I know that
good.
I think that for, there's a lot of stereotypes in my family. You know, my mother is from Mexico. And there's the stereotype that everyone from Mexico is short and dark, right? And they don't understand that Mexico is very complex in its ethnic background, right? And that my mother, who is a very white woman and a redhead, you know, is Mexican. So that's a stereotype.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That means you're a New American like me. Great. You have an immigrant as a parent.
Yes.
So, these are some of it. And those of you, both of you that mentioned, you did mention the things that I have down here. So the stereotypes, labeling, and the danger of a single story. It's not the danger of one story. I keep forgetting to do this. It's the danger of a single story. And this is a bestseller. If you want to look it up, I know, Gloria, you like to read books. Danger of a Single Story was written by Chimamanda Adichie. I could put it in the chat room. She's a Nigerian who is a bestseller. She has traveled far and wide. And she also do TED Talks. If you put TED Talks and type it in, you'll see, she'll come out. And what she tried to explain or clarify there is that average American, or some Americans, I'm not a politician, but I'm going to say one or two things there. On average, they tend to listen to one side of the story, just one story, one side of the media. If you're used to Fox News, you stick to Fox News, you believe everything Fox News says. If you listen to CNN, you stick to CNN and listen to everything CNN says. So whatever the media puts out there, whatever people are saying about a particular group, ethnic group, and that is what you believe in. Maybe you don't have any friends who don't look like you. So you tend to jump into conclusion about other people without taking time to learn more about them. So she's a good storyteller. So she did tell that story very thoroughly, but that really resonated with me about the danger of a single story. And like you said, Gloria, immigrants arrive in the US illegally and bring crime and terror into the fabrics of our society. That is one of the things. And I'm going to drive it home by giving you an example. Back in 2016, a presidential candidate, when was declaring his candidacy, came down the elevator, and the first thing he did was to attack Mexicans. He said, when the Mexicans spend, they send their people, they send rapists, they send this, they bring drugs. And the first time I heard it, I was so shocked. I said, this is serious labeling and stereotyping. And a lot of people believe that, because if somebody that person later became the president could use that platform to label and stereotype people, how much more just ordinary people who has never even seen him. Some people have never seen a Mexican in their life. So all they depend on is what other people or the media tells them. Then immigrants are economic burdens because they worsen our economy and exhaust our social services. So that's the people believe that, oh, when immigrants come here, oh, they are coming to get out, they like to take handouts, or what you call it. That's not the right word. When I remember, I'll let you know.
Like public assistance? Public assistance.
So they want help. So that is not true. My years working with the city and working with the immigrant population and from my own experience, immigrants come to this country, they want to work hard, they want to earn income, they want to take care of their families. They don't want handouts. That's the word I wanted to use. They don't want handouts. They don't, and they've told me, all I rather work. I don't want to take anything from the government, because coming back from all the way from Africa, wherever we are coming from, we know that our government doesn't give handouts, and we don't even trust our government. If our government was that good, maybe we won't be here in the first place. So that is the background that they come with, and they don't want to depend on the government for anything. They want to work and earn their income. That is why you see immigrants, when they come here, they work hard. The first thing they want to do, they want to buy a home. We bought our first home within 2 years we got here. And we have people who have bought their first home within 1 year they got here. They want to contribute to the economy. They want to better themselves. So that is the immigrants and refugees, I know. But the one that is put out there in the media is that, oh no, they are just lazy people that just want to exhaust our social services. And yes, like you mentioned, Abby, every immigrant who has a foreign accent is an English language learner. Yes, so you are stupid. You can't speak good English. And if you can't speak good English, then you are not smart. And that's a stereotype. Because for one, I tell people that I come from a country that has more than 300 languages, that speaks more than 300 languages, and a number of ethnic groups. So I grew up learning about 3 languages at the same time, including English. So when I tell people English is not my second language, people don't understand, but I say, yep, because I grew up learning English and Yoruba and Efik because my parents intermarried. So, and I also grew up in a neighborhood that maybe speak up to 10 languages. So that is something that a lot of people don't understand about immigrants, especially when it comes to geography. People don't know that some countries who are colonized by the British, they learn English while growing up, and the English is their official language. English is what they learn in school. And those who are French, who were colonized by the French, is the other way around. So that is one thing which people don't know, that foreign accent does not make you an English learner. It only means that you are bilingual and you're multilingual. And if you're bilingual or multilingual, that means you're smart, because your brain is able to process more than 2 or 3 languages, which an average American can only process 1 language. So, and that is something, that is why I encourage my son. I said, make sure you learn Spanish, learn French, whatever, learn as many languages you can, because that makes you smarter than somebody who can only speak 1 language. Every immigrant, regardless of their academic achievements and skills, deserve entry-level jobs. That's another stereotype. Oh, yeah, she's an immigrant. I'm sure she comes from permit me to use the word SH country. So they don't deserve anything than just entry-level jobs. So it doesn't matter whether you have a bachelor's degree. A lot of immigrants come with graduate jobs. I had a graduate degree before coming to this country. And there are a lot of immigrants who have that, who are bachelor's or master's degree coming to this country, but some of us have to go back to school again and get another degree because our degrees were not accepted here. And so I've been told before that all I need to do is just settle for entry-level job because I'm an immigrant. And that is what an average immigrant face. And some of them who even happen to get jobs face a lot of challenges, even getting promoted on the job because people don't want to promote you because you have an accent. So that is situations that is going on with immigrants that makes it so difficult for them to integrate into the system. Let's move on. I'm going to ask you the next question. And that is, I want you to tell me, what do you understand by brain waste? I'm going to spell it B-R-A-I-N, then waste, something that is being wasted, brain waste. What is your understanding? If you know what it is, feel free to unmute yourself and tell me, or put it down there. What's your understanding of brain waste?
Anyone, ladies? What is your understanding of brain waste?
This is Ayo Sadius. Brain waste is just functioning below your educational level.
Thank you, Ayo. Anybody else?
I would say, I'm going to venture out here.
Okay.
I would say it sounds to me like not being able to use that person's whole capacity of what they have to offer, right? That when we don't give credit for people for the things that they know and the things that they can do, you're wasting that ability, right?
Yep, so very important. Let me go to this slide now. So brain waste, very important. It describes a situation where highly skilled new Americans are denied the opportunity to utilize their skills and education in the workplace. Like I said, a lot of new Americans come here with their degrees, but especially those in the healthcare field, you have people who were medical doctors back home, surgeons back home, and nurses back home. And they come to this country and they are not able to use those skills. They are not, because they didn't study here. So there is nothing in place to say, hey, because once you're a medical doctor, we are just going to give you maybe a crash course of 6 months, or you work under a particular doctor or surgeon, and you learn on the skills of how to work here, and you get your license. It's not like that. They expect you to go back and do like 3 years of residency, take exams and all that, 9 years for you to practice as a medical doctor. That is a brain waste. And because of brain waste, we can see both at the federal, state, and local government level, America is losing about $10 billion a year because of brain waste. And why is that? Because in tax revenues, if you can only tax somebody as much as what they earn. So for instance, if I have 2 or 3 degrees, which I have, and I'm not being paid that amount of money that's commensurate to what I have, it's going to impact my taxes. Mm-hmm. So, and if it impacts my taxes, the taxes impact everybody, because whatever the government gets as taxes, that uses for everyone. So that is why it's so important. Brain waste is something that needed to be tackled in the American system, to make sure that people who are immigrants or refugees are being given the opportunity, not just for them to work, but to pay them the amount that is due based on their skills or their experience, so that they also have that equal access to the opportunities that every American has. So I could go on, but that is the situation with brain waste. And that is why we are going to see what is the solution to it. And definitely brain waste is always a lose-lose situation. That's why I said billions of dollars that are lost in tax revenues. So we are now going to how do we make an impact? How do we address this situation with new Americans' ability to integrate into the American society? Excuse me, let me say by the Colorado Workforce Development Council, this is a agency from the state, created a grant to provide funds for job seekers to access the following trainings. That's a reskilling. Reskilling is the process of taking up new skills or new training to embark on a new career. Upskilling is the process of getting high skills / training to advance in the workplace. Like for instance, if you are an IT person back home and you come here, all you need to do maybe do some certifications in the A+ and the cyber security and all that stuff. Once you're able to get that, then you are able to move up in the employment industry. Then you have the next skilling, the process of getting new skills / education that will enhance a new American opportunity in the green job market. So these are the skills that there are grants right now as I speak with you to get new Americans training, so that with this short-term training and certifications, they're able to get good jobs and also move up in their industry. Right now, the NAIN program is currently partnering with Spring Institute for intercultural learning. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they are known for working with immigrants and refugees. So they did get this grant, and they are using this grant to provide trainings to new American community. So if you're interested in getting training, especially in the area of reskilling, upskilling, next skilling, either in the healthcare field or in the IT field or whichever field, feel free to reach out to me, and then we'll be able to see how we can move on from there. And the next slide is the one that we are going to be, this one is directly talking to the Dress for Success, PWG, to let you guys know that this program is all about collaboration. The framework of NAIN is to be a liaison between our workforce centers and our community partners and stakeholders, both internal and external. So one of the things which I didn't mention about this program is the fact that I created this program by building it from the gaps that were noticed in the workforce centers in the city, that new Americans were struggling or finding it difficult to access the services that are available across the state, across the city, because they didn't know how to navigate the complex system that we have. And so this program was used as an avenue to be a one-point operator to say, if you reach out to OLA, the services you need within the city, OLA, I can have POCs, point of contacts in each agency to say, okay, there is somebody who needs housing. This person is in dire need of housing, is about to be evicted from their house. How does this person access rental assistance? I have people in our Department of Housing to say, okay, I just was able to reach out to someone who contacted me that they're about to be evicted from their house and they're new American, and the person has lost their job. And I said, okay, I reached out to them. Now they are contacting this person to see how they can help the person get emergency rental assistance. So these are the things in which we can work together, Gloria, in terms of you being, since you have access, I know the PWG have a lot of new Americans, people who are immigrants and refugees, or people who have one parent who is immigrant, who are maybe just moved to this country or are already in this country and are still struggling one way or the other. And COVID too has made it very difficult. People have lost their jobs due to COVID. People have lost their homes due to COVID. So, and they don't know that and people have even lost their businesses due to COVID. And the government has provided lots of resources and funding to help small businesses, to help people who are struggling because of COVID. there are resources out there, but a lot of them are not known to New Americans. People are not aware of them. And that is where that's where this program comes in to say, yes, well, if you are a New American and you are going through this, then you have someone like Ola that you can reach out to. And if you're a PWG member, if you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Gloria, and Gloria is able to say, okay, what are the things you need? Ola, I can reach out to Ola, or you compile a list of people who need some stuff. And if it's jobs, employers are there looking for, I'm trying to push them to see how employers, even our city employer, that's the city and county of Denver, I'm trying to work with the Office of Human Resources to say, you guys need to start hiring New Americans. I know New Americans don't even know how to access city employment or how to do their resume, how to fit in. I know PWG is doing a lot with the resume building and interview and all that, but how can you use it to get a job within the city? Because working with the city, after some years, you have access to retirement benefits and all the good benefits that come with working either with the city or the state. But the thing is, how could they benefit from this? That is something in which I am standing as a connector, as a liaison to say, we need, the city needs to do more than what is being done right now. And that is why I'm trying to reach out to our New Americans, because I don't want a situation in which they'll say, okay, we want to do more, but we are the people. Can you provide us with people? And I start looking around, I can't find the people. So that is why I would feel free to reach out. Oh, Gloria, okay, can you find some people in the PWG? They're hiring here. Can you find someone in the PWG who needs this kind of job? Or there's a training here. Can you find somebody who needs the training? Or there's a small business loan there. Can you find somebody? So I get resources being thrown to me through emails. I want to be able to push it out there to say, please spread the word. This is there. You guys go take advantage of it. Use the benefit. Because this country, like they said, everybody wants to live the American dream. But how can you live the American dream if you don't even know how to go about it? If you don't have a clue how to access or navigate the complex system that it's in the American society. A lot of people know how to access things. A lot of people know how to get access to capital so that they can improve their businesses, but New Americans don't have that. So so I'm going to round up by just saying that we can work together. We can make this happen for our New Americans. Okay, Gloria, over to you.
Yes, I have a question, Ola.
Go
So
ahead.
I know that you talked about the retraining of some of the New Americans, right? When they come to this country, if they can't maybe use their skills, right?
Yeah.
But let's say that someone comes over and they're not a doctor or they're not a teacher, they're not, can you help people like that? Is it anyone can get a training, or do you have to be a professional in your own country?
No, I just use that professional as an example. Anybody, like the reskilling, upskilling, and next skilling we have now, the training, we are doing it for was the LPN, licensed practical nurse. We are doing it for phlebotomists. We are doing it for dental assistants. So we are training those who you don't have to already be a healthcare person to be able to get trained. So you can, if you want to start to get trained as an LPN, as an X-ray technician, as a dental assistant, phlebotomist, yes, there are opportunities there for you to get that training.
Wow, that's awesome. And so you mentioned it's not just the training that they can get, and I'm assuming free of charge, right? That completely free, that they can go and get this training. But if they also need other supportive services, they can come to you as well, right?
Yes, I do what you call wraparound services. So if they need other, like, okay, I'm getting trained, but I need assistance. I don't have transportation, or I don't have how to pay gas. I want to buy gas into my car. I don't know how to buy that. yes, we could help with transportation. If you have rental and issues going on, we could help with that. So yes, there is a lot of stuff that can be done for new Americans once they are able to get that training. And it's not only healthcare. We also help people with, if you are doing IT, yes, there is, if you want to maybe start by doing ESL, take ESL classes, that is good. If you want to go into construction, there are people there is training there. So there are lots of trainings that you can access, and these are all free. They are not, you don't have to, like if you want to be a pharmacy tech, and you want to, if you like working in the pharmacy and you want to do a pharmacy tech, yes, you can get that training free of charge. And you don't only get the training free of charge, we also help you get a job.
Wow, that is really great, really great.
Yes.
Let's see, we have here Ayo saying, thank you, Ola. That was a great presentation and a big eye-opening for new Americans. Ayo also asking, can we get the paper presentation? So Ayo, this presentation is being recorded, and you can find the recording of this presentation tomorrow at our YouTube channel. And the newsletter that I send out has the link that takes you directly to the YouTube channel, and you can access this information there. Roxy is saying, good info, sorry, I've had a patchy connection on the road. So ladies, do you all have any questions that you want to ask Ola?
There are no right or wrong questions.
But what a great, and it's not just for someone who's brand new in the country. And that's something that we really need to stress, because there are so many of us, like myself, who, you know, has a parent who is an immigrant. You know, how many of us, right, especially in the PWG, have at least one parent that's an immigrant? And if that's the case, you too qualify for this. So it's the person who is new to the country, their first and their second born, correct? Is that right?
Yeah, you just need one. You don't. It doesn't.
Oh,
have
just
to
the
be
first
two.
generation.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. And I think we have one message here. But do you need to be a citizen?
No. You
No.
don't need to be. You don't need to be a citizen. All you need for some. But you need to be a resident, or at least have a work authorization for some of the funding. If it's federal funded, then we will at least have some, you have to have a legality, like, but for the training, you don't need to have any legality. Because there is DORA, that's Department of Regulatory Affairs, has just put it that you don't have, excuse me, you don't have to be legal in this country to have access to training. So,
Wow.
And so with this these free trainings that we are giving, because I'm working with Spring Institute to get this training done, I'm also letting them know that there are some new Americans who don't have all the legal documents in place. Can they help them? Can they get this training? Because we know with the healthcare industry now needing a lot of employees, being able to get maybe access pharmacy tech credential, or being able to get LPN, or being able to, you might be able to get maybe a hospital or a clinic that will file for you because they need people. So that is another way of getting your legal documents, by getting that, being trained in a healthcare field that they need people. So I'm not going to tell you that it's 100% for sure, but at least is it worth the try, that if you are able to get your hands and get free training for the LPN or pharmacy tech or dental assistant and all those stuff, and phlebotomy, if you're able to get that training, and that you are not requiring any legal documents to get that. It's still going to be free. Then when it comes to job search, you might be able to get into hospitals or companies that are willing to file for you because they need you.
Right. So for those, I'm thinking of those dreamers, Ola, those children who were brought into the United States at a very young age, and they're now adults and they're kind of stuck. They have the ability then to come to you and get that training, get access to some of that training, even though they may not have documentation.
Yeah, DACA recipients are also part of New Americans.
Okay. What about if they didn't file for DACA? Does that make sense?
Even if they didn't file for DACA, the fact that they are foreign born, like this program is just if you are foreign born or you have at least one parent that is foreign born. That's where you come in. The issue of the paperwork is going to be something that we do have. The Governor Polis has signed into law. They did sign into law about the situation, people being able to get access to legal defense if you're facing, how do you call deportation? You can access legal defense. So there is a program, there is a bill that has been signed into law for that people can apply for legal defense if they are facing deportation.
Io is asking, what about IT training? Any access to free training?
Yeah, that's a good question. And that is something in which I could look into. Right now with Spring Institute, they are only doing healthcare, but the IT thing too is part of the grant, the next skilling, reskilling, and upskilling. And there might be another agency that is involved with that. So I could look into that and get back to her. So Io, try and reach out to me on that. I'll try and get you more information on that.
And just a reminder for all of you, in that newsletter that I sent out, there is also a program for the Aspire Academy, which gives you access to lots of different programs. And that I know for sure, they never ask for any documentation of any sort. And it's a free program as well. And I know that if you're wanting to learn things like Microsoft Office or Excel or any of those IT things, you can start doing it with that training as well.
And I also know LinkedIn too, you can have, if you sign up to LinkedIn, you might be able to have some access. And there's Google too, and there's Microsoft that also have. And if you go to libraries, some libraries have like lynda.com, you can get some free trainings. You don't have to have documentation to get that too.
Yes. It's great living in this age of technology when it works, right? Wonderful. Well, any other questions, ladies, before we wrap up here? We're going to do our usual. Oh, okay, Teresa. Linda is now part of LinkedIn Learning.
Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Teresa. Teresa, maybe I should use it if you wanted to, maybe I should give, since I have some time. Teresa is my co-worker and she handles the 50+. Listen, Teresa, if you want to maybe speak for 5 minutes about your program, it might benefit some people here too who are 50+.
Sure, it's just a program that we provide resources for older adults. It's called Back to Work 50+, and I have professionals coach any job seeker in networking, in resume writing, and cover letter writing, in upskilling that Ola talked about, in marketing yourself for LinkedIn.
Oh, she froze.
She froze. Oh no.
Recruiters come in at the end of the week and you can ask questions of them. and practice interviewing or your what we call the 30-second pitch. So if you would like, well, Ola will give you my email address and you're welcome to follow up with me and I can give you more information. We do it in Denver. They have a program in Arapahoe Douglas County if one of the dates isn't convenient for you, and also in Grand Junction, which doesn't help you, but we're all online. So thank you, Ola.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you, Teresa. And before you go, what is the eligibility? Do you have to have documentation to access your services?
No, there is no documentation. There's no eligibility. Only you have to be age 50 or more. That's it. And it's a free program. So we don't check anything. We partner with the AARP Foundation. So they have a lot of money. They have generously partnered with people around the United States, organizations such as ours, Denver Workforce Services, to provide this information for you. But no, we don't ask for anything like that.
Teresa, would you mind putting your contact information in the chat because we do have
Sure.
interest.
You bet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep. So those are like Denver Workforce Services with the city and county. We do have lots of government funded services. So these are just two, Teresa and I are just two services that we do offer. But once you can reach out to us, then we can always provide you with other services that you can benefit from as well.
Mm-hmm.
Very useful, very wonderful information to know this. And I'm sure that, you know, there's so many people, and like always, ladies, this is not just for the professional women's group, ladies, it's for everyone. So if you have friends, if you have neighbors, you know, maybe, you know, people in your church or synagogue or temple where, you know, that could use this training, please pass the word. Let them know about Ola, let them know about Teresa, because these programs, if they don't use the funding for these programs disappear, and the need is out there. So let's make sure that we're using the tools that we have, you know, that we can take advantage of so that we can all do better. Yes. Well, ladies, thank you so very much. Ola, thank you very much for joining us and for wanting to do this for the professional women's group. Teresa, thank you for talking about, yes, for the 50 plus, which is very needed as well. So many of us have to go back into work, right, at that age.
Yep.
Because we can't afford to retire necessarily,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So very useful information. Thank you so very much, ladies.
And thank you Gloria, for making this happen, for always providing so many resources for the PWG. Very much appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, ladies, we go forth with confidence, courage, and believe in ourselves.
Yep.
Have a wonderful night, everyone.
You too, Gloria. Thanks so much. Thanks, Ola.
Thank you, everyone. Thank